Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to watch me stream some Elden Ring, and like and subscribe to fight better warriors next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Alexander, the warrior jar, the hardest enemy to kill in all of Elden Ring. Not because he's overpowered or anything, he's just my friend. We fought together. I oiled him up, I spanked him. I suppose I'll spank him one last time.
Watch me smack that all on the floor. Smack that, give me some more. Smack that.
Hey, before we get started, just wanted to let everyone know we're making a bunch of Elden Ring videos on this channel. It's kind of been the only thing I want to do lately, so to justify it, I'm making a ton of Elden Ring characters in D&D, and basically restarting the Building Character series in Elden Ring on this channel. Check those videos out. We're putting a lot of extra work into them. I think they turned out really fun and funny. Alright, now let's build the pot boy. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to be a jar, which means a hard outer shell and regenerative abilities. Next, we need a spin to win combo. Just stretch out your arms and send out the harms. Finally, we'll get a big fiery explosion. It's not as fast as spin to win, but it is more explosive. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Strength will be number 1. You're a big boy who fights gods with your fist. Rad. Constitution next. If your training strategy is sitting inside a volcano or fighting a demigod, you need health. Charisma after that. It's both the reason I don't want to fight Alexander and the reason he can convince me to fight him. I would do anything for my jar BFF. Follow it up with wisdom. You need to have a good sense of direction to run through the lands between. Intelligence is a bit low. Alexander is kind of a himbo, but we'll dump dexterity. He falls in holes a lot. It's adorable. The living jars were brought to life to carry bodies to the Erd tree. To me, that sounds like a warforged. Bump your strength and constitution with your free points. You get integrated protection, letting you merge with a set of armor. It gets +1 to its AC, and you're still technically wearing it. That's gonna matter more later. It was confirmed in a sage advice. You can look it up. Thanks to constructed resilience, you have advantage on saves against being poisoned and advantage on poison saving throws. You don't need to drink, breathe, or eat. You can still eat, you just don't have to. You definitely don't need to eat people. That could turn some people off. Sentry's Rest lets you get a long rest in 4 hours as long as you stand still, but stay alert. Just sit in a hole for a second, it's fine. Take Persuasion for your skill of choice, and the Soul Jar background for athletics and intimidation proficiency. It's hilarious that the super serious, deep, and dark game has a major character whose name is a pun. He's a Soul Jar. Soldier, and he's the best. We'll kick things off as a fighter, giving you 2 skills from the fighter list, like Insight and History Proficiency to find the strongest warriors and to talk about the Shattering. Take Unarmed Fighting for your fighting style, letting you make unarmed attacks that deal 1d6 plus your strength modifier in bludgeoning damage, or 1d8 when you have 2 free hands. Obviously, you're gonna have 2 hands, you need them for hugging your friends. You also deal a d4 of damage to a creature you grapple once per round, so maybe don't hug your friends. This is also where we can start reforging the cracks with Second Wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest. Just calm down, touch grace, etc. Second level fighters get Action Surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest for 2 attacks in a round at the moment. Eventually, this will become a full spin to win. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype, and as a champion warrior, we have to choose the champion archetype. That'll give you improved critical to critically hit on a 19 or a 20. It's simple but effective. If that doesn't perfectly sum up Alexander's character design, I don't know what does. Fourth level fighters get an ability score improvement. Start with strength for better punching. All you do is punch. My man. Fifth level fighters get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks instead of 1 with your action, or up to 4 with an action surge. Now we're spinning like a top. Not that kind of a top. Maybe that kind of a top. Light can't hog all the thirsty fans. Sixth level fighters get another ability score improvement, letting us cap off your strength right away. And just in time for some multi-classing. We're gonna jump over to Barbarian, not so much for rage, which adds extra damage to your strength-based attacks, gives you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and an advantage on strength checks and saves for a minute. That sounds pretty great, but you can't rage in heavy armor, so if you want to merge with full plate, that's a no-go. You are wearing armor. Again, if you merge with armor and integrated protection, you are still using it. There's a sage advice you can Google. If you want, you could go for medium armor instead, but that would set you at 15 AC since you have a dexterity penalty. Whoops. You also get unarmored defense, which obviously you don't use because you're not just wearing armor, you are armor. So why are we in Barbarian if we don't want any of the abilities? That's because second level Barbarians get something we really want. Reckless Attack, letting you make your attacks with advantage as long as you don't mind giving your enemies advantage on attacks against you. That's double your rolls with a doubled chance to crit. Sure, spinning around in a circle isn't the safest method of fighting, but it is the coolest. Danger Sense gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws, but yeah, you're falling in the hole. Your dexterity is always -1. I'm sorry, it's gonna happen. Back over to Fighter now. 7th level champions are remarkable athletes, letting you add your strength modifier to the distance of a running long jump, which means that you've got 25 feet. Despite his relatively small legs, Alexander has some hops. You can also add half your proficiency bonus to any strength, dexterity, or constitution check you're not proficient with, so I guess you're marginally more stealthy. 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Start working on your constitution now for more HP. Eventually this will become a regeneration stat, so keep an eye on it. 9th level fighters get indomitable, letting you re-roll a failed saving throw once per long rest. You can't give up. That little jar baron at home is believing in you. 10th level champions get another fighting style. Defense adds 1 to your AC while you're wearing armor. So if you want to rage, this will fix up your dexterity penalty in medium armor. If you don't want to rage, this will set you at 20 AC when merged with plate mail. That would be my pick. Armor is really helpful in Elden Ring. 11th level fighters get another extra attack, letting you make 3 attacks with your action or 6 with an action surge, all with a doubled chance to crit and advantage on each roll from reckless attack. That's going to be a lot of crits. 12th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Cap off that constitution for the most HP you can have. If all you have in your jar arsenal is punch and walk forward, you probably need to take a beating. 13th level fighters get another use of indomitable. Just use it on something you might actually succeed on. Basically, not a dex save. You're gonna get stuck in the hole. Unless at the 14th level fighter, you use your ability score improvement to bump your dexterity up to 10. Now you're gonna be super nimble. Well, you'll stop falling in holes as much. 15th level champions get superior critical, letting you critically hit on an 18, 19, or a 20 with advantage on every roll. It's simple and clean. Put Alexander in Kingdom Hearts. 16th level fighters get our last ability score improvement or feat. We're actually going to grab the Ember of the Fire Giant feat from the Giant Options Unearthed Arcana. If your DM doesn't allow Unearthed Arcana, grab Magic Initiate for Burning Hands. But this is better. This feat gives you resistance to fire damage and Searing Ignition, which forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures within 15 feet of you, dealing 2d6 plus your proficiency bonus in fire damage and blinding them until the end of your next turn if they fail, half damage, no blinding if they succeed. The saving throw uses your constitution modifier, and you can replace 1 attack with it per turn. An amount of times per long rest equal to 3 times your proficiency bonus. That's 18 uses, and you still get 2 attacks after it in a standard round. It's really good. I'm kind of thinking it might get nerfed or fully deleted before it's officially released, so go give it high marks in the feedback, please. 17th level fighters get another use of Indomitable and Action Surge. That's 3 times you can try to not fall in the hole, and twice that you can turn yourself into a living merry-go-round. Our capstone is the 18th level of champion for Survivor. That lets you heal 5 plus your constitution modifier, so 10 at the start of each of your turns when you're below half health. Half health for you starts at around 110 depending on how you rolled, so your jar shards will just keep on living. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, try spinning. That's a good trick. With 6 attacks from an action surge, you'll deal 6d8 plus 30 damage with a tripled chance to crit and a double the triple chance to crit from reckless attack. I think math isn't my thing. You're also very durable with over 200 HP, 20 AC, and heavy armor and regeneration abilities to make sure you're always kicking. Finally, that's kind of it. You're tough and rough, but you're very tough and very rough. For weaknesses, you have no ranged options, with very low dexterity, meaning you're going to be missing unless you find some sort of jar cannon. You're also dependent on bludgeoning or fire damage, 2 types that are pretty commonly resisted by higher level foes. Finally, your dexterity saving throws aren't great, so you could end up stuck in a hole. That's why you make a friend though. They'll pull you out of the hole and you can fight the gods together. Oh, that's a character we'll do, maybe, eventually. Stinks. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We're doing Elden Ring building characters here both ways you could imagine it. That means Elden Ring in D&D, but also building your favorite fictional characters in Elden Ring. Go check those videos out now, please.